Am I the asshole for keeping score of everything I've ever done for my husband? I wish women could understand that a man beating you does not mean he loves you. If you understand this, he will leave early. You will not stay after he slaps you. You will not stay after he punches you.
Exactly.
You will not stay while he's beating you while you're pregnant. My sister's husband tried to kiss me. What do? I don't know why we have this type of stories today. Why can't you buy PS5 for your man as his birthday gift? Or a flat screen TV? Hey everyone, some of you may know me as the host of Truths and Takes podcast, but I'm also the host of Truths and Takes podcast. Yes, don't forget it. I host this podcast. My guest today needs no introduction, but still going to let him introduce himself. Drum rolls, please.
Hi everyone. My name is Yusuf, and I'm here for the juicy talks and then the drink, obviously.
So my guest today was gracious enough to do this whole setup. So if you can notice, some things are a little bit different about the setup. The angle is a little bit lower. Some things are a little bit on point. So let's thank our guest for that gracious.
With more drinks.
More drinks, obviously. We'll top the cup every single time he finishes his drink. Okay. So we are going to head right into our stories for today, and you can expect to be traumatized probably from today's stories. You can expect to insult a few people, but let's get right into it so we can hear your takes.
Let's go.
So our first story for today. Am I the asshole for keeping score of everything I've ever done for my husband? I'm a woman in my late 50s, married to my husband, early 60s. We've been married for 30 odd years. I have fulfilled the role of a traditional wife for much of our marriage, and I left paid work soon into our marriage. My husband is very successful in his business, and we live comfortably. All our children are adults now. My husband built his business from the ground up, and I was instrumental to the early success, which set it up to be what it is today.
Still going well.
We were having lunch with our children when my son mentioned that his wife didn't want to be trad wife and do what I did to raise the kids. She raised concerns about how vulnerable a position it is and that she doesn't want to solely depend on him for money. He wanted me to talk to her and convince her by telling her how it worked out for me. I said I understood where she was coming from, and being a housewife is incredibly risky and vulnerable, especially if he leaves her and she's been out of the labor force for a while. He countered that it had worked for his father and I because I trusted him as my husband to provide for me, and why couldn't his wife do the same? I told him I have a meticulous record of all contributions I have ever made to the family business, recently digitalized with the help of my daughter, so that if worse ever happened, I wouldn't be relying on the mercy of a man to feed myself. I told him I have made many contingency plans over the years to minimize the risk of being a housewife and compensate for my lack of pension and benefits I'd have had I not left the labor force. My son and husband were angered by this. Both said it showed a lack of trust, and my husband especially feels I've had one foot out the door our entire marriage, that my little escape plan included plans to shaft him off his business. I told him the fact that he refers to it as his business rather than ours is exactly why I kept those records and why I wouldn't be telling my daughter-in-law to do what she doesn't want to do.
Wow. That's it.
That's it.
I mean, it's crazy it's crazy the kind. I won't say I'm a woman person or how do you put it?
Feminist.
Yeah, I'm feminist kind of, but to some extent I do respect the female gender a lot. But I don't.
To some extent.
Yeah, to some extent.
To some extent, you respect the female
For
gender.
some reasons, to some extent.
Oh.
And not generally, just maybe some certain kinds of people. But irrespective of that, I really don't like seeing when women are being seen like properties
Mm-hmm.
or they need to be owned. Yes, she's maybe right in a way and maybe not completely right because it obviously looks like she did have one foot out
No, she
of the
had a
marriage.
contingency plan because
And
if
now,
you are
but
a
it's
stay-at-home
that is
mom,
if something happened.
no. But if you're a stay-at-home mom, you know you have no source of income, you have no personal finance.
Exactly.
So you have to ensure that if worse comes to worse in the marriage, if the man eventually leaves you, what if the man dies?
No,
You have
true.
your
I
own
get that. I
finances.
get that, but it still looks like the trust thing.
I don't think. I think it
Cause,
was.
cause she's already having feelings that our business, my business, your business.
He said my business.
Yeah, which because of how much she has contributed in the
Mm,
business, obviously it's supposed to be referred to as the family business, which is
yes,
our business.
yes.
But he's already saying my business.
So she saw some reasons why she needed to have that backup plan.
Yeah, which I'm saying it makes sense, but don't make it look like the trust thing is the issue. If, for example, now because of the health, it could be because of health
Mm.
challenges or something. Yeah, it's understandable, but maybe not the trust thing, because you already know what you're putting yourself in before you get in.
But then it's the husband now that made it look like the trust issue thing. And now that's why he's upset. Because I would always say it, women out there that are stay-at-home moms need to have backup plans. They
Exactly.
need to have their own finances. They need to
Exactly.
sort it out. If you've
Exactly.
built a business up from the ground like this woman has,
Exactly.
definitely you should have backup plans. So that if this man decides, oh, it's now on to be into
Tomorrow,
other women,
yeah,
I want to
you
leave
will have
my
other
wife is
plans.
no longer young, you are not left stranded at all. Because you stayed to take care of the kids for how long? And then now the son wants you to try and convince his own
His
wife
own wife.
that she should take up this
That's
role.
that's the crazy part, because yeah, maybe because of the kind of home you grew up in and what you see, but are you that also that kind of person?
I feel like if the his wife currently is not in the same place as he is, she does not want to leave the workforce despite him wanting her to be a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah,
then she does not have what he's looking for. So the best thing for their relationship is to actually end it because you
true,
cannot try and
true,
convince a
true,
woman to put her entire trust,
true, true.
finances, and be that vulnerable to you.
And even with this current age and time, with the way and where the world is developing,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be really. In fact, even me, I don't think I want a woman to come and stay in my house. I would, because I want a good example for my children, for them to be able to try for themselves.
Yeah, I believe
Do you
all
get?
women need to be able to
Yeah.
contribute in one way or
And
another to the
it's
household.
it's it's funny, but even though they are women,
Mm,
and I'm not saying this to make any man feel less of himself, but women can actually put things together.
definitely.
I'm not saying because you're here too. I'm only saying yes. If you if a woman actually wants something to really work, even if she wants her marriage to work out well, yeah, there's some level of sacrifice and there's some level of things she will do.
Mm,
Of recent, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was just telling me about one random gist she had, but it
mm,
was real too. That the boyfriend was not up and doing now. He's trying, but not enough.
mhm,
And the finances were really down. In fact, she was the one paying the entire bills and the rest of them. So, but this girl, she kept meeting people, trying to connect him, trying to link him up with people, even go as far as paying pastors to pray for her husband, ticket for her boyfriend. Well, so that's how much a woman can go, as in the
to
level a woman
invest
can
into
go to
your
invest into.
future.
So if a woman is doing that, like this woman has done it too for her
Yeah.
husband, she should be respected for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not the man also sounding somehow by saying
One foot
my
out the
business,
door.
yes,
You've
and
been
one
married
foot
for
out the
30
door. Yeah,
years. She does not have one foot out the door. If she has one foot out of the door,
should
I
have.
think she's entitled to
Yes,
even
now
half of
property.
the property, yes. So you should actually be really happy that you have a
A good wife.
sensible
Yeah, and a
woman
good
like
wife.
this.
She's a good woman though.
But would you feel some kind of way if your woman makes more money than you?
Honestly, I won't. But rather it will make me want to up my game more, and like I want to do more. Not like I'm jealous of her, but I'll be really happy because I know my kids or my children will be in safe hands.
Mhm.
Anything that happened, even if I die or something
Yeah.
happened to me, my children are
Yeah.
obviously
You don't
very
have to
safe.
stay in an abusive relationship
Yes.
just because you don't have an alternative. You
Yes,
want your
but
children to live.
also if she is not being proud about it,
Mm.
if she's yeah, because
I make more money than you.
yeah,
What do you bring
no,
to this
no,
house?
no, 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 no. Though I would obviously care for my bills, everything, and even what I'm supposed to do. I will buy the necessary things I'm supposed to buy for her and for the house. But
I do
is
believe in
mm,
like a 50-50 household. For me personally,
uh,
I was raised with this man mentality. I have to hustle, hustle, hustle. Maybe
yeah,
because we did not have any boy in our household.
okay,
So I actually believe that I have to contribute 50% to whatever finances. If I have to pay house rent, 50% of the house rent, I pay 50% of the house rent. But you have to be aware that taking care of the household is not
yeah.
my job. If this week I'm
And
doing
that's the
laundry,
thing. No, no, that's the thing. You're already putting it. Yes, it makes sense if you're doing it the 50-50, but if any not every guy, but some guy will feel like for the fact that you're mentioning it that oh, we're doing this thing 50-50, especially this house rental. So obviously there's some level of things too I'm supposed to
yes, why I said 50-50 is because you don't expect me to be cooking every week. You don't expect me to be taking care of kids on my own. There will be a schedule, right?
yeah, I get
This week I'm doing laundry. Next week
uh
you're doing laundry. This week I'm waking up early to take care of the kids so they can go
yeah,
to
I
school.
get
Next week you are doing the same. Everyone works equally because we are partners. There's
true,
no house help.
true.
If you want to marry somebody that will be your housewife or marry somebody that he wants to come and be doing all the chores,
Mm-hmm,
cooking, cleaning, feeding,
mm-hmm.
washing plates, you go and hire a house help. Or I swear you marry a house help because I'm not the one. I prioritize my own career and my
Mm,
career growth. So if we have to be partners
mm,
and not husband and wife. So
mm,
even if I'm getting married and
mm.
they say that kiss, you may kiss the bride, it's going to be, I'm going to tell the minister or whoever officiates
Yeah.
that you may both kiss each other. It's not you may
It's
kiss the
not the make
bride.
easy right.
Yes.
So you're not you don't want to it's more like you don't want to serve the wife role completely.
I just want to be an equal. It's like a partnership. I believe it's a partnership and not
Okay,
husband and
no.
wife.
Let me put it this way. It's agreed, yes, it's a partnership for reasonable men.
Mm.
But
That's why you have to find a reasonable man. You have to remove
no, but
people that.
still, for society purpose, and let's say
I don't do society, so I don't want to talk about society purpose because I feel like the society has imposed so
mm,
many rules
yeah,
that we've
yeah,
not even been able to clean our heads off of this thing that this is the expectation, this is
that
the
one day,
expectation.
that one
I
day.
read a post about men grow up. When men are growing up, they are taught how to treat women. But when women grow up, they are not taught how to treat men. And I was like,
Mm,
when men grow up, they are taught how to be good human beings.
yeah.
So they know how they have sisters, they know how to treat their sister, they
Mm-hmm,
know how
mm-hmm,
somebody wants them to treat their sister.
mm-hmm.
But when women grow up, they are taught how to cook, how to clean.
That's
And
women.
yes,
Yeah.
and they are told about wanting to marry a good man. If your character is bad, which man will marry you? Those are
Yeah,
things that are
yeah, yeah.
enshrined in our heads growing up. So you cannot say men are taught how to treat women while they're growing up, and women are not taught how to treat men, because society has already started teaching women how to treat men. So I feel like that statement was absolutely incorrect.
But it all boils down to communication and understanding.
Mm.
Yeah. So don't go and look for rice when you're looking for beans.
Yes, just
Yeah.
pick a partner
Just
that
pick
works,
that works for
wants
you.
what you want.
Obviously, I will not want my wife to become
A stay at home.
I want her to do things, go around, make friends, make
Mhm.
connections, learn to help my kids also grow into the world. Because let's say the tech world itself, for example, when I was growing up, I had the opportunity to like go into tech,
Mm.
which because of my parents, I was opportune to do. So I won't want a woman that will restrain all those kind of things. Do you
Yeah,
get?
they will not
Yeah.
have new knowledge.
So yeah.
Okay, so comment, not the asshole. I hope you talk to your daughter-in-law privately. She is very wise not to put herself at the mercy of your son. Many stay-at-home moms are
Mm,
speaking out about how after decades of trust and unpaid labor and multiple children, their
exactly.
ex-husband just divorced them.
Exactly.
They were ruined financially. It's great to be a stay-at-home mom. if both partners want it, but a man should never force it on his future wife. If I were your daughter-in-law, I would run. Their values do not align. He will make her life miserable.
Makes sense. I think that comments
Sums it up.
sums it up, yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe if I could say one or two things, just be careful and take your time.
To choose your partner,
Yeah,
right?
then communicate well before you guys like
You have to
go
know.
even go as far as guy, if I pee in the toilet and I didn't flush, how would your reaction be like?
I will obviously be crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you cannot.
Because it could be messy. I don't like it.
Or leaving the toothpaste cap open.
Yeah, have the conversation at large.
I like everything I just
Do you
said
get?
here, right?
Mhm.
My partner is aware of it.
Exactly.
So
So
I gave that option. Do you want to stay in something like this? Is this something you are fine with?
do you get?
And then if you're fine with it, it's okay, we'll move along.
That's it. Communication.
Communication.
Yeah.
Right. Communication.
Communication.
So let's move on to another story.
And a drink.
This guy is not going to leave me with this drink today. Okay. Am I the asshole? I didn't tell my wife about taking my ex to an abortion clinic.
Sorry, come again.
I didn't tell my wife about taking my ex to an abortion clinic. My ex and I have a son together. We mutually separated due to not being suitable to each other. We were young when we got pregnant. We are still friends to some extent, can have a laugh when discussing what's going on with our son. I met my now wife and I'm happily married. My ex got married to a guy, but they weren't together that long. It all fell apart at some point and she broke down telling me that he had been violent with her. She told me this when I was dropping my son off to her. I told my wife when I got home and she was shocked. We were both concerned for her, but especially for our son, her stepson. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, my ex said she needed to speak to me privately again when dropping our son off. She said she discovered she was pregnant for her ex-husband, though not yet divorced.
Okay.
She knew she didn't want to keep the child and asked if I'd help her get to an abortion clinic.
Okay.
She said she couldn't ask friends or family because they would judge her and she didn't want anyone else to know. I made the call not to tell my wife. I felt it was an abuse of my ex's trust. So my ex did all the setup and I took her there. Turns out I had to stay with her for hours as there was a minor complication. She was distraught and had no one. I felt I had to stay. Just to clarify at this point, I have no feelings for my ex whatsoever, other than care for her well-being. So all was done and she said she couldn't go back home and wanted to stay at a hotel. I took her to one and waited while she checked in, then headed home. My wife was understandably angry. I hadn't been in touch for hours. There was absolutely no signal whatsoever in that clinic, and even if there was, I had no idea how to explain the situation over the phone. So when I got home, I sat my wife down and told her everything. I felt it was only respectful to explain myself to her. She wasn't pleased, to say the least. I understand why. I guess it started throwing up ideas of me cheating or whatsoever. So I'm asking, where did I go wrong? Was it getting involved at all? Not telling my wife from the beginning? Or was it telling her anything instead of just lying about where I'd been?
Well, he lied about going to the place.
No. When he got
He didn't
home,
just...
he told the wife. That was after everything. After he had checked his ex-wife into the hotel.
But he told her everything and that
Yes,
it was...
afterwards.
She's an asshole.
So where did he go wrong?
But, everybody have level of acceptance. It still boils down to the communication thing. If you know your spouse or your wife will not appreciate you keeping communication with your ex, I think you shouldn't in any way.
But they have a son together. So they still have to keep that communication.
That's different. That's different.
So I feel like where he went wrong was thinking about his ex's trust over his wife's trust.
How? I don't know.
So he decided that he was not going to. He made a call actually not to tell his wife about it, just so he does not mess with his ex's trust. And then after everything, the hours and all, he came back to tell his wife. which is wrong because I feel like you have to prioritize your wife over your ex.
Exactly.
So whatever situation, you have to tell your ex-wife that, oh, I'm going to have to discuss this with my wife to see if she's fine with me helping you this day. And the ex-wife has to be okay. Then you go and tell your wife. If the ex-wife says, no, I don't want to tell your wife is your priority now, not your ex-wife. So your wife has to know what is going on and what you're planning to do with your ex. Because now it looks like, oh, you went for hours to help your ex-wife get an abortion. What if the child is yours? What if you guys were
True.
messing around all those times when you were going to
True.
drop off her son?
True.
Yeah, so he really created that room for mistrust. And then I don't think like there's any
Feeling.
he I think he loves his wife, he respects his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and he made it clear that he has no feelings for his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think that feeling is still there
It's
because it
still
cannot
there,
be washed
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
But then I think like he disregarded his wife's feelings, trying to respect his ex-wife's. Because the wife understood that he's abusive, and it's understandable that the ex-wife wants to get an abortion. Don't want to keep that memory of someone that is abusing you, and you know that you don't want to have that child and still have that divorce again.
Oh, but the thing is, that's in a way her business.
Yeah.
I mean, the ex-girlfriend or wife, that's her own business. How she choose to maybe treat her or do her thing. But if the guy wants to come in to help in any way, just like you said, he should maybe let his wife know about his whereabouts. She could even maybe have a better way of going around it or something like that. But may not, but keeping it away from her from the onset is wrong.
And having no single communication
No
for
single,
those entire hours.
it's completely wrong. But for the fact that I don't know, it's just wrong.
It's wrong.
It's just wrong.
He's in the wrong.
Yeah,
That's just it.
it's
He's
just
an
wrong.
asshole. And the wife has every reason to mistrust him now.
Yeah.
That's just the thing.
Yeah, he's just wrong.
So there are comments. Top comment says, you went wrong when you decided not to tell her because it was an abuse of your ex's trust. Your wife is your number one. You could and should have been open with your ex that you would need to tell your wife. Then you wouldn't abuse her trust and would still respect your wife's trust in you.
Yes.
Instead, in protecting ex's trust, you put a seed of doubt in the trust your wife has in you. Another comment says, you are the asshole. Why would a man who claims to be happily married put his own marriage at risk by being deceitful and withholding information from his wife? Your first loyalty lies with your wife. You have a lot to make up for with your wife.
Exactly.
And don't be angry if she mistrusts you for a long time.
Exactly. Especially for the fact that they had a history, like there's a child there. So, man, it's just wrong.
But like kudos to the ex-wife too for making that decision to actually decide to remove the pregnancy.
That's
because
still a business now.
it's her business, but like I'm just talking from the ex-wife's point of view now. Because
I'm looking at the innocent wife now. Point of
I get the innocent wife, yes, the
Yeah.
husband is an asshole, but I'm just trying to bring light to like the ex-wife and the struggles. She was in an abusive relationship and she decides she's leaving this man. She took that step and she decides that she does not want to keep his baby. So kudos to her. I know society is very judgmental about people removing pregnancy. And that's why she did not have any other person to trust to help her with this. And that's why she had to rely on her ex-husband. But kudos to her actually.
That whole part is understandable.
Yeah.
But I even want to have this or ask this question. Is it truly that you really can't tell as a lady when you're in a relationship that probably would be abusive later on?
I think the perception that people give in the relationship when you are dating is different from the perception you get when you're married. So some people don't have the chance to.
But you can never tame a beast completely. You definitely see signs.
They are very deceitful men.
And
so
that is why you put tests.
I heard a story recently of, people don't get to live together. Our society, people don't get to live together to see those things before they actually get married. And I don't like that. I prefer to actually live with my partner before we get married so I can see all the things that irritate me and we can talk about them. But that's society. Society will not allow it. Parents will not allow it. But there was this story I heard recently about like somebody being in an abusive relationship, and she finally decided to leave. And someone in the group was like, I wish women could understand that a man beating you does not mean he loves you. If you understand this, he will leave early. You will not stay after he slaps you. You will not stay after he punches you.
Exactly.
You will not stay while he's beating you while you're pregnant.
So even with the response you get from somebody like that, you would understand if this person can raise his hands on me. Do you get?
No, I can be mean, but I can be
No,
mean with my
that's
responses,
different.
but like
No, that's different.
I
You're a
feel like
lady.
men do a
You're a
good.
lady.
Women are abusive too.
Yeah, they are, but
And it's even harder for men to come out and say my wife is abusing me. So that's something that men don't even talk about. How women are very abusive.
Yeah, true. That's another story entirely. And the level of people or men that are being abused are actually really lower than the level of.
But I feel like you guys do a really good job of trapping in the women and then keeping them, marrying them. And then you see that because of the type of society we are, divorce is not really recommended. It's really frowned upon. So you think that she will stay in her marriage and endure anything she has to endure. And that's why I speak about this finances thing and being a stay-at-home mom. Because if you're in an abusive
And you're in a nice
relationship,
stay-at-home mom.
you do not have finances. You have kids, then you will not be thinking, oh, I have to just stay to give my child a good future. But men are actually, I don't know how they get to hide that personality.
Man, it's crazy because I'm not there, so I can't really tell. But I just want to believe that there's still a high level of chances that you can tell that this person can do this.
There are definitely red flags too.
My ex-girlfriend, over time, she kept testing me with a lot of things to see how upset I'll be about them. So to some extent, I think maybe I didn't know she was maybe doing them until she later said them.
Okay.
So she'll come to my house and then she'll just do things that I won't understand. And I'll just put a call through like, Alpha babe, why are you doing like this now? You know I don't like this thing.
She wants to leave that honeymoon phase and see the real phase in you.
But because I'm not that kind of person, so we never got to me. So before she now finally come out and say, oh, she actually don't do things like that, just that she was just trying to see my reaction.
Yeah. I feel like that's something people should do a lot.
Yeah, but be careful.
But then people still get beaten in their relationships. It's not even marriage. They beat in your relationship and you still stay.
And you're there.
You still stay.
And you're there. I'm the kind of person that I like to have lots of conversations. So I was still just with somebody of said. And the lady was like, the first week, the guy hit her. And then came back to apologize that he was just madly in love with her. And I'm like,
baby, I'm madly in love too. I love you, baby.
I'm like, it's like you need malaria test or something.
Did she accept him back?
Yes.
She took him back.
They dated for 3 years.
Imagine how many black eyes.
She came out with plenty scar.
So what made her actually come out?
She later said she met somebody else. So she started cheating somehow. Then that one was strong enough. It was maybe stronger than the other guy.
So they fought.
They fought. Yeah, they fought one day. Then the other one now took her to his house. So she was there for like a month or so.
Are you still friends with this person?
Yeah.
If it's me, I will not be friends with this kind of person. Because I'm sure you advised her.
Yes, now during those period we were not friends. I didn't know her then. She was just telling me her experience. But it still looks like she has the potential of doing something like that.
So do you know if this current guy is abusive too?
I don't think she's in any relationship. She could be, but she says she's not.
Women, leave your abusive relationships.
Yeah.
He loves you, yes. We know he loves you. I love you. The world loves you. Go and look for somebody that loves you without fist violence.
But men, stay out of abusive relationships.
Stay out of abusive relationships, please. Next story.
Sorry.
Because we can stay on this the entire day just because of the amount of things we've actually heard in this life. So the next story My sister's husband tried to kiss me. What do I do? I don't know why we have these types of stories today. Okay. I, 24 female, have been living with my sister, 28 female, and brother-in-law, 28 male, and 1-year-old niece for the past 6 months. I moved in after a series of ridiculous events and have no idea what to do. It was fine for the first few months, but after a while, he started holding my hand and trying to grow closer while we were both drunk. He started talking about things we were both interested in, like politics, the supernatural, etc. I thought it was fine because he must have not known what he was doing, but he eventually tried to kiss me while talking about rituals, claiming we should do the kiss of sin ritual. I denied slash have started avoiding him and immediately said I wasn't comfortable with this, but still haven't told my sister. What should I do?
Man,
I know you meant that man as like a sigh, but like man,
no, not men, like, but
man I'm
man,
saying it,
but still,
man.
man. You see, man, I don't. God. Okay, with his clear eyes, let's even leave the alcohol thing apart because alcohol will actually help you bring out the same emotions or
That
hidden
you've been
emotions.
hidden,
So
yeah.
obviously, he has been thinking about it, or maybe visually
Imagining.
imagining things like that we have, or it's man, tell your sister, but they have a child.
But the sister still deserves to know.
No, she deserves to know, but they have a child because left for me, I will have say she tell her sis, and then she ends the
But then
thing
there are some
immediately.
sisters that will blame the girl.
They'll
They'll be
blame the
like,
girl.
you tried to seduce my husband. My husband did not make an
Nah,
attempt without you.
that's a stupid
Yeah, and
girl.
you've been wearing these
I'm
clothes,
sorry,
short
but
clothes in
she's
my house. You've been trying to
yeah,
seduce
yeah.
my
That's
husband.
that's that's also part of it. Let me quickly say this. Do you remember during that time that the rape thing was rampant? I think it was 20, maybe 2018 or 2019 that the rape case
Yeah, I was
incidence was
hearing rape.
really high.
Yeah.
So there's this funny thing. If you look at how women dress nowadays, yes, dress comfortable, do the fashion thing, and feel comfortable in your outfit. But a lot of all these guys that are not mentally developed, like the not so to say
No home training.
I be illiterate.
Illiterate.
All this, I don't want to say aboki, but you should understand.
Mm-hmm.
No offense, but these guys will see a very classy lady,
Mm-hmm.
properly, not properly developed. Maybe some part of her body is exposed, like they will say it's fashion. Maybe she's not even putting on brand, or obviously they cannot approach her
Mm.
and they can't, but they will obviously feel one sexual arousement, like, oh,
Attraction.
I wish I can knock this girl or something like that. But obviously they can't come close to her now. So,
Mm.
but this other smaller girl that is even maybe covering the whole of her body,
Mm.
she's vulnerable for now. Those are the kind of girls now they will go to rape.
Mm.
So I think even the level of how female put on dresses and the kind of places they go, it matters because you see them, you have a lot of abuki guys around you, and you always come out every morning without bra. So it's crazy.
I don't think it's sometimes it's on the women,
Yeah,
right?
so how
But
you
it's not always on the
no,
like
no, I'm saying it's wrong.
80%.
It's wrong, but they say if you're trying to maybe catch a rat or something, you block all the holes around. So if you're leaving one hose empty, obviously it could leak. So that's what I mean.
I don't know that adage. I'm not that old.
I just messed up.
Okay. There's a comment that says the
Yeah,
sister needs to know whether or
that
not she
obviously.
will believe or take her husband's side is
Hmm.
unknown,
Hmm.
given how little we know about everyone involved. But it is not the sort of thing you cover up and keep quiet. That's not protecting anyone except the
Hmm.
person doing the wrong.
Exactly.
Because the guy could also be a womanizer. He could also be
Yes,
cheating on the wife.
yes.
So I think there's a way that she can
And
get
he could also be
evidence.
out of stress. But I'm not supporting him though, but he could also be out of
There's a way
stress.
she can get
Do you know
evidence.
this is why I say this? Because sometimes, even as a married man, or or when you're married, obviously, your wife can maybe not be doing like now he's having conversation about politics, supernaturals. These are interesting conversations too for some kind of people. And your wife doesn't even gist you that much, or you guys don't really. I'm not saying that's the reason, no.
Better not be saying that's
I'm
the
not
reason.
saying that's the reason. I'm only saying.
There's absolutely no reason. There's no excuse.
I'm only
No
saying in general, marry
reason.
your type.
Do you know what that woman? We don't know anything about the people involved
I'm only
exactly.
saying. I'm
So
only
there
saying.
is actually no excuse to be lured like that and
I'm
to
only
use
saying.
someone's interest to try and
I'm only
woo
saying.
them.
I'm not supporting it.
Don't support.
I can't support.
I don't know you like that.
I can't do it. I can't support. So I'm only saying.
There is absolutely no reason why
Yeah.
your partner should try, and
Yeah.
even your sister of all people, come on. I've had someone try and do that. I was like, I have a close friend, and their partner was like, asked me for a kiss.
Your partner.
And I was like, let's just pretend this never happened. And I walked out. And I never told my friend. I never told her actually because it's not
Oh,
my problem.
you're a bad
I
friend.
feel I'm a bad friend, yes, but
Yeah.
I looked at the situation and I realized she would find out eventually.
No.
And if I had told her something, I would be the one that would be accused of the wrong.
So for me, if I was in
Mm-hmm.
that same shoe, I would make a scene that moment. Okay, depending on where I'm. If I'm in the room only, if I'm the only person in the room with him, yes, I won't do it. I'll rather go outside and scream. But I'll make a scene in the sense that I want him to be exposed
We were drunk
in a way.
that day too.
So,
But that's not an excuse. I was drunk as well.
okay.
I'm not saying I was drunk, but I was drunk. And I still had my clear mind to be like, no.
And that's what I'm saying now. There's alcohol will only help you bring out emotions that are hidden. So he probably might have been looking at you for days or sometimes and be like, ah.
And the funny thing is, this was actually the clothes I was wearing. This was actually the clothes I was wearing
This
that
one?
day. Yes, I was
Are you
actually wearing
serious?
clothes.
That's
If you want to
crazy.
sit, you want to sit.
It's okay.
The back is open and
It's okay.
so let me know. Look, this was a drunken night. Anyways, that's all the story we have for today.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed this episode because I definitely enjoyed it. It was more insightful. You see, we
Yeah, I
actually
had it.
addressed issues that face society and issues that I think this was more of a feminine segment where we had to address.
And I don't know why I'm not a feminist.
You don't have to be a feminist to actually say what is wrong.
Yeah,
I don't.
true.
If I'm being honest, I don't even know the meaning of feminist now because there's so many perceptions about it that I still don't understand
In
what
fact, it's wrong
about.
right now. Right now, the whole concept about it, like the idea from the onset, it makes sense. But right now, it's
being
totally
abused.
wrong. Yeah, it's been abused.
It's been abused.
Obviously, women will be respected for historical events because women have not been treated well. So if me and you apply for a job now, obviously they'll consider you first.
No.
Yes.
I've always had to work
Yes.
twice as hard.
I'm telling you, yes. You
No.
get the job. You'll be considered first.
If you're no, the only reason why you be considered first is if they want someone attractive to like man.
Nope. I did work in a place. I'm sorry I won't mention the name of the place. And my boss kept saying he wanted more female people.
He had a reason.
Yeah, I'm getting there now. So his reason was not because of the talent or how good you were, but it's more of that when you're around female or when let's say it was seated now that I'll feel a bit more relaxed. Lady, you can't harm me, can't do all those shit, all those things. So that's it. And it was like a place that needs people to always come around. Yes, it's
So
understandable.
they needed to feel safe.
No, yes, it's understandable to have more female, but how about the know-how, the talents? Can they really do what you want them to do?
It is different. That means that company is not after talent, they're after a safe environment for you to come and feel safe in that environment.
So,
but I know that
not just
for my opportunities, I've always had to, because I'm kind of like a perfectionist. So I've always had to ensure that I am at that level where nobody has to question my work ethic. So I think it's a struggle for those women that are actually serious about their career because you are actually going for positions of power and not just these menial roles. So it's different for people that are actually going for position of power. And kudos to those women that actually
That the good
build
ones
their
that are
career
working,
and build a good life for themselves.
Woman, she's
Women
solid.
are killing it today.
Yeah.
Keep killing it. And my advice to those women that want to live off men, most for no good reason. Some
for the
might
money.
some might want to be stay-at-home moms, but some might just want to be, I'll use the word gold diggers. Try and not represent women that way, because if one woman represents the entire
And it changes
gender,
the
it
whole.
changes the whole perspective, the way the world looks at us. So just try and get something for yourself. Kudos to those people that are doing business. Just everyone do what's best for you, but don't try and live off of someone else. Have your own thing, and then he can be spoiling you on top, okay?
Normal.
And you can be spoiling him as well, because like, why can't you buy PS5 for your man as his birthday gift, or a flat screen TV? But you should be able to take care of your man. Anyways, let's get back to the point again. We've had a lot of fun on today's episode, and I'm glad you came. I'm glad you did all this setup for me.
Thank you.
And the viewers are glad as well, because I think they enjoyed today's episode.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it so much.
Okay.
Please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Anyways, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.